Mr. Train. My name is Max and I am 11 years old. And I have a question for you. Do birds have a sense of smell?
Hey everybody, it's me, Mr. Train. I am so excited that the Hoboken Public Library has brought us back together again. If you're just joining us, my name is Mr. Train, and I love birds and nature, I love asking great questions, and I love discovering new things. My birding buddy Max just asked an amazing question. Do birds have a sense of smell? Before I can give you an answer to your question, I have to tell you something fun that I like to do. I like to use the names of birds' body parts for my own body parts. For instance, my head is my crown, my hands are my talons, and my clothes are my plumage. But birds have beaks, and we have a mouth and a nose which we use to smell. So maybe that's why people think that birds can't smell. No nose, no smell. But is that true? Uh-oh, I'm starting to hear some music. That reminds me that it might be time for a Mr. Train's Bird Word.
We have some scrambled up letters here. Let's see if we can make a bird word with them. Let's try ear snap. No, ear snap does not sound right. Let's try another. Oh, nares! Nares.
Nares. Nares are the nostrils of birds. Different birds have different looking nares. In fact, one of my favorite things to do when looking at a bird is to check out its nares to see what they look like. Here is a duck that I got to know just this week, and you can see his nares just at the base of his bill. Isn't he cute? Just because birds don't have noses doesn't mean they can't smell. Their nares help them to smell. So, to answer your question, Max, yes, birds can smell, and many birds smell just as well as humans. But different birds have different smelling abilities. So let's take this opportunity to get to know a few birds and how well they can smell.
This bird is a starling. This fellow was hanging out on the wires right outside my home. I recently learned that scientists discovered that starlings can use their sense of smell to know the age of other birds and as a way to know if a bird is male or female. This is a ring-billed gull, and I met him in Hoboken. I am showing you this bird because he lives near the water and looks a tiny bit like another bird that lives far out on the sea.
That bird is an albatross. Albatrosses have one of the best senses of smell by a bird. They can actually smell their food from 10 miles away. Isn't that amazing? Can you believe how many amazing things we learned just by looking for an answer to your question, Max? A lot of people ask me, Mr. Train, how do you stay so positive when you have a problem or don't know the answer to something? And that is when I tell people that I love a good problem.
Did he just say you liked problems?
That's right. I love a good problem because I've learned that when I'm faced with a big problem, a solution is right around the corner. Today, I want to introduce you to 2 problems facing birds, and then we're going to explore some solutions that'll actually help you to begin working to save birds. Our first problem is a very clear problem. It has to do with this: a window. Birds fly through the air. and it's as if windows are invisible to them. When birds hit windows, it's called window strikes. Some estimates say that window strikes are responsible for killing 1 billion birds per year. Isn't that sad? You know, it's okay to feel sad. In fact, when you hear that over 1 billion birds die from window strikes, it's natural to feel sad. And that means that you care about those birds.
But caring is just the beginning.
To help birds, we need to do something. In fact, in order to be good, we need to do good. And that is what gets me to our solution.
These are window decals. You put them on windows and birds see them and safely fly to a different area. This one is a special square that helps birds see the pane of glass. This is an artistic cardinal with lots of colors. And this is a silhouette of a raptor I made. You can buy a window decal, or you can make your own. And then, if you put decals on your windows, think of all the birds we'll be helping.
What if you made or bought the people in your life window decals so that they can put them on their windows? And soon, every window in our neighborhood will have a window decal, and we'll be saving lots of birds' lives together. By hanging decals, by working together, and by doing good, we'll begin to make a difference. And then, instead of losing birds, we'll be discovering new birds. Which brings me to a new feature I'd like to share with you. It's called What Amazes You About Birds? I'm going to ask some of my birding buddies to tell me what amazes them about birds. Everybody, meet one of my best birding buddies, Tyke James. Tyke, what about bird? What about bird? What about bird? What amazes you about bird?
Well, the first thing is it can take you anywhere. Birding has taken me all across the United States, and I know it can take you around the world. And two, you get to meet incredible people. I get to build a friendship with Mr. Train just because we both like birds. And I think that's kind of cool. And three, it connects you to a history that you can share with your ancestors and their ancestors and their ancestors.
Isn't that amazing? Tyke is absolutely right. Birds have been around for millions of years. And so they've been with human beings throughout our entire history. Now, the next time you look up at a bird, it's almost like you're going into the past, because those birds are connected to all of our ancestors who helped to bring us to this moment. We're all connected. And when we look at birds, we have the opportunity to have a deeper connection with the people in our lives. Thanks, Tyke. That's my yellow warbler call alerting me that someone is in my virtual bird hangout house. Let's go see who it is.
Oh, it's Captain Kelp. Captain Kelp is one of my neighbors who lives down at the dry docks. He always has interesting bird sightings to report.
Mr. Train! Mr. Train! Permission to come aboard, sir!
Aye, aye, Captain Kelp. 1 second. There's just one little problem. Captain Kelp sometimes can't control his emotions. I think you'll see what I mean. Okay, Captain Kelp, you can come on.
Ahoy, lad!
Captain Kelp, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, lad, fine. I have to tell you, this morning I gazed a sight that was so beautiful I have to share with you. I was walking by Pier C, and there I saw a goose, with its wings splayed out behind it like a plank, gleaming in the sun. It was the most beautiful and rare sight I ever did see.
I am so grateful that you're telling me this story, Captain Kelp, and I have a question. Is this what your bird looked like?
Yar! That's the bird. That's the very bird I saw.
I'm sorry to hear that, Captain Kelp. It turns out that this bird actually has a condition, a problem called angel wing. Its wing is not meant to be sticking out like that, like it's a plank.
Oh, 'tis surely a shame that any creature as lovely as a goose should be born in such a way.
I'm sorry to tell you this, Captain Kelp, but angel wing is not a condition that this goose was born with. It was actually caused by people.
People did this, you say? Those monsters! Let's get down to the pier, Mr. Train, and find them and make them walk the plank.
Captain
We'll
Kelp.
drop them in the drink for sure.
Captain Kelp, take a breath. Now first, I can see how sad and angry you are, which is actually a good thing.
Good thing?
Yeah, it tells me that you care about the goose, which is really important. And I also want you to know that those people who did something that caused angel wing weren't doing it because they were monsters. I bet they loved the goose and just wanted to find a way to help it by feeding it bread.
You mean they're not monsters after all?
No, I think that those people want to be good people, but now they have the opportunity to learn, and instead of just wanting to be good, they can start to do good.
Well, Mr. Train, what can we do to help?
That's a great question, Captain Kelp. In fact, I was just saying, a great problem always offers us a great solution. Let's take a look. This bird here is named Starlight, and Starlight has been lucky enough to find a home at the Closter Nature Center in New Jersey. So even though she can't fly, she is able to live a happy life because the kind people at the Closter Nature Center care for her. She walks and swims around with ducks all day. Birds like Starlight, with some of their wings sticking straight out like this, are unable to fly, which makes her more vulnerable to predators. And she's isolated from the rest of her flock. This dangerous condition is called angel wing. It's caused by people feeding baby geese and ducks bread. Their feathers grow too quickly, and because the bread doesn't give them other important nutrients, their small bodies can't handle the weight of new feathers. Bread harms Starlight and other birds. It also dirties the lakes and ponds because so many animals are attracted to the small area to try and eat this unhealthy food.
Ah, Mr. Train, Starlight surely is a lucky goose to have found such a wonderful home as the Closter Nature Center.
That's right, Captain Kelp. But it's really important that Starlight's story helps her teach you and other people about the importance of not feeding birds bread. Because Starlight was lucky, but a lot of other birds don't end up in nature centers and can't survive in the wild if they have angel wing.
Ah, 'tis a valuable lesson, lad. And I'm glad I stopped by today, Mr. Train. But now I have to go. My ship is ready to sail.
Captain Kelp, where are you headed?
I'm headed all around the world, lad, to tell people to avoid feeding birds bread.
Well, that's a noble mission. Thank you so much, Captain Kelp.
Farewell, Mr. Train, and may your life list grow ever longer.
Okay, goodbye, Captain Kelp.
Goodbye, Mr. Train.
I am so grateful that Captain Kelp stopped by today because we discovered a new problem, and by looking a little harder, we found a new solution. And Starlight and I want you to learn an important lesson from her story. So here are a few things that you can do to help prevent conditions like angel wing. Number 1, please don't feed birds bread. By simply stopping this practice, you'll be helping a lot of birds. Number 2, if you really want to feed birds, set up a bird feeder at your home or at a park with birdseed and feed songbirds. And number 3,
if you insist on feeding water birds, you can give them slightly defrosted frozen peas.
can you believe that we discovered some solutions to some really big problems? Who knows? Maybe by working together, we can help save the lives of lots of birds, not just in our neighborhood, but all over the world. And all that positivity can be generated because we know that to be good, we need to do good. I hope that you're doing well as you draw birds for the Mr. Train art competition. We're only a few weeks away from February 1st when you have to get your entry in.
Just a reminder that you can visit the Mr. Train Facebook page at Mr. Train Life Lessons for Better Birding and Beyond and find all of the contest details and entry forms. Good luck!
As you go out and learn more about birds and nature, and you get inspired to ask questions, feel free to send your questions to me at mrtrain@mrtrain.org. I might feature one of your questions in an upcoming episode. I hope you had just as much fun as I did today. We learned a lot, we had some fun, and we learned that when we go outside, it's important to do good. And keep your eyes to the sky!